Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. Happy Easter. I have some things to show and I wanted to cast on today. I had knitted projects in mind using yarn that I got on sale a while ago. Um, and I was thinking about what projects to do with the yarn because I was initially going to do a garment like a vest, but I went to the yarn store to get the rest of this yarn and it wasn't there anymore. I have a couple of the blue and one of the yellow, so this is the Performa Series Kiwi fingering weight 40 grams, and it's machine washable brushtail possum blends. So this is an international yarn. I'm not planning on getting any more of this. It's on the pricier side too. So this one is in the colorway Panamu, and this one is in the colorway Sunset. So they're from. The company is based in New Zealand. And when I was on the East Coast, the shop owner was saying that she really liked this yarn. So she just had it on sale because it wasn't the easiest to order for her. So I'm finally going to cast on. I'll show the project in a second. I have my Chaogu needles that I'll be using for this. I do like Chaogu needles a lot. I also love Knitter's Pride, the ginger shorties, but I haven't been knitting with wooden needles in this area because of the climate. These don't make your hands cold, but I do like using this this brand. And I recently, well, a couple weeks ago, I went to the thrift store and I got some thrifted needles. Those are the larger sizes and they are cold. You don't really, well, maybe you wouldn't really want your needles to make your hands cold. Um, but I feel like it is a little nice because of the climate here, but I've been knitting with mainly Ukrainian yarn, so there isn't much to show on this project because I was finishing up my assignments and I wanted to finish as soon as possible. Well, I tried to do that anyway because they're, well, I started the next section, like I'm reading up on next week's reading assignments and the reviews. So I did a little bit of that today. I have an online CPR certification that goes along with the course. Um, so it's like an hour and a half around, well, I think it's a little less than that, of the course material. So I started that today too. But I did get some stitches in today and I will knit on this today. It's after midnight, as it usually is for me. So right now I'm adding length, and this is the repeat pattern here, so it'll just be that for a couple of inches, but I do like the effect of it. I really love how it's turning out. It's not like a garment that I have, and that's super nice. At some point when I order more Ukrainian yarn, I'm going to get the other colors. I really wanted the dark gray. It looks like a charcoal with the red because Tetsy came out with a new pattern. Well, it's not out yet, but I know what it is. It's based off of the Pisanki, the decorated eggs, and I really wanted to test it on that. Since I'm taking my course, I didn't apply to be a test knitter, and I'm sad about it. But I know that there's going to be patterns that I will be um, determined to test it because the last two patterns I wanted to test it from her. So this is a fun knit, and I'm happy that I have a garment on the needles because I'm mainly a garment knitter. I sometimes knit mittens. I rarely knit socks. I'm not much of a happy camper when I knit socks. I don't really like knitting socks. I think it's because like I wear boots a lot, and one might say you can make them long enough to where like it you could see it like above your boots. Some of my boots like you unless you want it like thigh length, it's not gonna show above my boots. So I just I know the how convenient it would be to knit socks, but I I don't like knitting socks for me, or in general. I don't know. Um, I haven't knit socks in a long time. In a couple months. So I will show the project of what I'm going to cast on with these two yarns. I think I'm going to show it on my other laptop, my school laptop. So the pattern is a cowl. I usually like my cowls closer to my neck, so I'm hoping that if I I'll just have enough of the for the project. It's called the Latvian loop, and I've been really loving these types of I would say like kind of traditional patterns. This is what it is. And I think I should have enough. They said 40 grams for the contrast color, but it gave a different yardage. So, I'll see about that. It's saying for provisional cast on. I don't think I'm going to do provisional cast on, to be honest. Where's the pattern? It looks like I'm knitting a two. So, um, I'm just, there's instructions. I was like, where's the instructions? You are, you will purl the, what page is this? The left stitch on each chart, which is always in the appropriate background color to create the fold of the in the fabric. Um, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Cast provisionally cast on 100 stitches. I'm just gonna do a regular cast on, and I'm going to finish it the way that I finished this one. And this one's a pretty long one. Longer for a cowl for me, but I feel like I feel like I could have like added more length, but at that point I was just like, I don't want to keep working on this. So, because if I made it longer, I could wrap it around like an infinity scarf. I feel like I don't know if you wouldn't consider that the same thing, but it's longer in my mind, and you tend to have it more like drapier. So before I show other yarn, and I'm going to cast on the project too, I adjusted my wonky farmhouse and I am so happy with it now. I will still, I'm still going to add the bottom, so I'm going to cast on, at least do the count on here and then do some of the sewing now, or do some of the sewing in the video. So I did change the colors. It's still wonky, but I'm I'm happy with it. I feel that it looks even more wonkier on camera, but in person I don't see it as being as wonky. Of course it still is, but I think I'm learning more and more on how to cut things and put them together. And I took apart some of it because, like, when I undid the contrast areas, I kept this the same and then I attached them by rows. And then for the sunflowers, I'm going to add the sunflowers at the bottom. I might extend it above. I say that. I don't know if I'm going to add it more like really high up because I'm gonna still do the blue skies. So something like that. Oh, I just feel like it'll be really nice. But I'm a lot happier with it now. So, and I just love the cows. Like the cows were like the main thing that I was determined to do. And I wanted to use up this fabric. I did go to the there's like a local quilting store, and it was my first time going in there. I got there late. It was like the last 20 minutes before they were closing, and there was a lot to see because there's like aisles of fabric. There's like a sale room of like the fabrics, and I was thinking about going to Joann's to see what other, like if I were to get the back orders, but I'm happy for what Joann's was. I feel that this is a good step for small shops because they don't have the box store anymore. And so I hope I don't spill my needles. Sometimes I end up doing that. This calls for a size 2. Mhm. Yep. So, my God, I was gonna say, no, I wasn't. I wasn't gonna say that, but um, so I quickly was looking at, I was quickly looking at things for what I was able to. I was mainly trying to find the small fabrics that I could add to the wonky houses. I still have to get the blue for the skies because I just go through a lot of that. I have a little left, but I'm gonna end up buying more at some point. I did get a special fabric just because it was more expensive, but I consider it a little bit of like a fancy fabric for it, the project. Because this was more expensive than Hobby Lobby's. And I do like the Hobby Lobby fabric because it tends to be on the softer side. The blue and the yellow I love. They're not as soft, but they're so like they're everything for the project. So I showed my best friend and uh she really loved the whole thing, and so I love it too. And this is the well, I already this is the fabric. So I did see another one that I would well, there was a couple of them that I'm like these are nice, but I chose this one. It felt nice. I feel like the wonky houses are going in like a specific direction. They're kind of like, at least in my eyes, they kind of have like a European type of look to it. Um, I've been doing better with ironing because it really makes a difference when you iron the stuff and combine it. I still had to add the chimneys and then the sky and the stuff around it, so, and evening the stuff. But I'm really happy with them. I don't know if I'm gonna make them all blue skies, because if I'm gonna make it a fairy world, the backgrounds might be different, because I feel like in a way it would be kind of linear, unless I format it to where it would be surrounding, like expanding on a square or whatever shape I'm trying to do with it. So in that way, I could have a lot of the blocks be that blue sky with the yellow I was thinking maybe some of the blocks could be like if you're surrounded by maybe pasture. I don't know if pastures are yellow, but um, like wheat or something. Like you could have a lot of the background be the yellow background. So um, I'll think about it. I am doing them as I feel called to. I don't know if I'm gonna do the tree house next. I really want to use this fabric. So it also has the yellow and navy in it. I don't know if you could see that. And I really like this type of pattern. I could see this being like actual clothing too. So there are, well, there's another project that I was thinking about doing for a while. It was just like a spark of inspiration because, oh, there's more information on the inside. That happened to me with the African yarn that I was using that I got from another yarn store. So let me read this because it has this here, and that's New Zealand, and that's the brush-tailed possum. I don't know, I just thought the possum would look different, but maybe I'm thinking about like the American possum. It just doesn't, it looks not like what I was thinking. Not only does Zealana yarn make a great project grader, its population helps make New Zealand's ecosystem a lot healthier. To learn more about the impacts of non-native species in our nationwide efforts to sustainably manage New Zealand's brush-tailed possum population, visit zealana.com. So protection of native species, preservation of forest habitat, brush-tailed possum. Brush-tailed possum consumes 21,000 metric tons every 24 hours. Then it has like the leaves there. I think that's what they're talking about. And native bird species like New Zealand's beloved kiwi face, habitat destruction and nest invasion by brush-tailed possum. Um, New Zealand human population 4.4 million. New Zealand brush-tailed possum population 70 million. So you could see how it's represented here. And those are the humans, and then that is this long one. Well, this area here, that's the brush-tailed possum. I don't know. It might be because I'm using a new yarn, but or someone is thinking or talking about me. I think I'm gonna. Hopefully that's enough meat. I just estimate. I think since I'm not doing uh, ribbing for this, I might go for a long tail cast on. If I'm doing ribbing, I like the German twisted cast on the most because I like the effect when you're when it shows with the ribbing. Yep, me already trying to do the twisted because I do it majority of times for my projects. Because a lot of them start off with ribbing. Oh yeah, there's this other project that I wanted to do with my cotton yarn because I just felt like called to use this cotton yarn specifically. So maybe I'll be able to use well, I know what I want to knit with that other cotton yarn that I have such an abundance of, but I wanted to knit on something using the Ukrainian yarn because it's just so cool. I mean, obviously well, I don't know, obviously, but the cotton yarn is super cool too. And I do notice that that's a lot of what is in the yarn store when I go to the local yarn store. I prefer knitting on wool, but this other yarn that I brought out, I have other colors that I was thinking about doing with these, but I don't know if I'm gonna do one project after another because I wanted to do dishcloths that it's a pattern that I've knit up before. It's a free pattern from Skein Deer Knits because it uses, I believe it's the Maria's patterning, and don't quote me on this, but I believe she said along the lines of she wasn't going to charge for that pattern because it is a traditional Norwegian pattern. So I have that on my Ravelry, and I could show that too. I did the one in traditional Maria's, well, that the pattern what it would originally come in, but this feels interesting when I'm casting it on. Um, it definitely has a different sensation, and me being me, like energetically, it feels different. Like it felt kind of like not fuzzy, but like energetically fuzzy or like fuzzy electrical. Like it felt like there was high energy to the yarn, and even when I'm knitting it, like I don't know if my nose is reacting to the yarn because I don't feel like I'm having a reaction in that way. There is one yarn that I had a reaction to. Well, it was unspun, and it is it's like kind of like an exclusive type of yarn company that I heard so many amazing things about. I am not saying that it's not good at all, but I don't think like my body is used to that exposure because they try to keep the um, fiber as natural as possible. And I mean, I've tried like the natural, organic, or non-superwash types of yarns. Like the Ukrainian yarn, I have no problem with. This one's still the yarn is well, it's the roving. It's like they keep a lot of the lanolin in it, like the stuff that maybe you would a lot of times you would normally well companies would normally wash out. They were keeping it in because it adds to the naturalness and the effects of like how the yarn would come out, or like once you spin it up, or not spin it up, but once you knit it up, I mean, you could spin it up, but um, it would just be a part of the whole thing in the process. So it was just like me. I think I don't know if I was sneezing, but I was reacting to it. My nose was definitely itchy for that. So, so I'm gonna count 100. I'm not like counting right now, but I am just eyeing where it's going because it's gonna be 100 stitches, so it should fill up around the end of this. And I'm using 4-inch tips because they're the needles that I prefer knitting on, the length of the needle tips. I do have 5-inch, and I did start off with 5-inch, but I feel that you could do so much with the 4-inch. You could do the stuff with the 5-inch too, but I just feel that the 4-inch it's just more versatile. And I got some cottage cheese today. So the lactose-free cottage cheese. So that's in the fridge. Drain. Well, I put it in a strainer with a paper towel underneath it, and then in wax paper above it with I don't know if it's one of those meat tenderizing type of kitchen tools, like the heavier one where I just put it on top of the wax paper so that it could get the moisture out more. Because I'm going to make Serenity tomorrow. And I, let's see, it's almost there. I think it's the yard too. Okay, so let me pause it and then, because I don't know if you'll just want to see me casting on the whole time, just to make sure it's at 100, and then I'll start sewing stuff. I, well, I got all this stitches on there so I could start working on the charts. I was also thinking with the cotton projects, I brought out the other cotton that I got from the dollar store. It's the same brand and it's the just cotton by Premier, but it's 85%. Let's see, if 85% cotton, 15% polyester. And I was like ready to just make something for the kitchen, but I just remembered how much the yarn bled when I knit with it last. So, because I wanted it to be like dish rags or something, or like pot holders. And if you're doing a pot holder, like there's a good chance that it could get wet too because it's like in the kitchen. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But this one, so are, this one's grass and cream. And then this one is turquoise and mushroom. So this is more of like a gray. That was another thing that I wanted to get from like the Ukrainian shop because I want another gray sweater. I want to redo a gray sweater because um, I mean I like having gray in my wardrobe, and uh, I feel that I would definitely wear it. So I really want to knit something with these, and I have two more of each, so that could be a bigger project, but now I'm not so sure about what I'll knit with the yarn because of that. Unless I knit with one of them, but I won't knit with one of them. I'm gonna start cutting the fabric. I know for sure I want the bottom to have the sunflowers. And then I'll attach the chimneys, and I already cut that up here. I'll add the blue skies. It's been helping to do row by row. I don't know, that's probably, I'm learning the trade of sewing. I swear it doesn't look that severe, like, in person, but on camera it does. But regardless, I'm still super happy with it. And I'm gonna start cutting the bottom. Let me see in the book if it was like talking about, well, I'll see it in a second because I have to get the sewing machine anyway. That's like basically the perfect length meant to be. And I'll see what I want to do with the edges because I might bring the sunflowers up, but I think it's so bold that I'm not too sure about that. So this is the bottom one. This is like a nice fabric too. Let me get the sewing machine. Oh, I do have other cotton yarn too. maybe I should show that, and then I could do um they're Ukrainian colors and they're actually from Hobby Lobby. And you can get those wet, so that could be something. I did want to use this green, so I don't know, but that's definitely something to think about. And if I do a pot holder, I don't know if I want to do a pot holder because I feel like a dish rag would be more convenient. But let me show that too. And I'll put some stuff back in the bin or the area where I keep the stuff. Oh, that's my college, well, my college um, laptop case. So I have the sewing machine here. I have to thread it again. It comes out, but I don't have it on the pillow right now because the pillow would sometimes like press against the, I don't know, like the plug part of it where it's the part that connects to the sewing machine and then the cord connects to the pedal and the, not enough cloud storage. But I have it on a towel right now. So I am sewing. I actually have to put it through the needle. Okay, I got it threaded. Um, I'll show the other yarn that's from Hobby Lobby that I got a while ago because I was gonna use it for my, sorry, autumn lark. Oh my god, sorry. I don't know if I have to clear my recycle bin or something. It doesn't usually pop up as often.